I'm gonna sound really old saying this, but lately I've been thinking about how things used to be before social media. I grew up in a small village in the middle of nowhere. All my friends, we went to the same primary school. We spent every day together in the classrooms, on the playground having fun. If it was after school or weekends, if I wanted to hang out at the park or play football, all I'd have to do was go and knock on their doors. Ask their parents if they can come out and play. I was so comfortable reaching out to people face to face. It's like back then my social anxiety was non-existent. I didn't even need a phone for that. And I've never felt more connected to a group of people in my life. And I miss my friends. Now I'm grown up, I have new friends, and of course I'm grateful for them, but I don't see them every day. And that's just kind of considered a part of adult life. But just thinking about all this, I've had this realization about a pivotal moment in my life, one that changed every friendship I've had since. And that was the second I decided to download social media. How is something that was invented to bring us closer together left us feeling so isolated? I think the idea of social media is amazing. Think about it. I've got this friend living out in Canada right now. When am I going to get the chance to speak to him face to face? Unless I can afford the $900 plane ticket, it's not going to happen. But me sitting here right now in the woods, I'd barely have to move a muscle to text him and have a full-on conversation with him. But something I've been asking myself lately is that if social media has given me the power to reach out to someone anywhere in the world, at any time, why is it that I rarely ever choose to do that? As of recording this, I have 568 followers on Instagram. In the last year, I've maybe spoken to 15 or 20 of them over text and met up with about 10 of them in person. Now, I'm not trying to make those people that I have seen feel insignificant by saying this. I am truly appreciative of every single friend that I have. There are also some people in my life who have zero online presence who matter very dearly to me. But when it comes to all of these other people, maybe they're busy, maybe they can't find the time, and maybe that's just a part of getting older. But the thing is, most of these people I see every single day on my social media. I have this whole window into their lives. I can see what they're getting up to. Yet I choose to say nothing. The limiting factor, the reason that I get lonely, is me. I think for most of us, face-to-face isn't our primary means of communication anymore. Nowadays, it's easy for us to just observe someone passively, to view their stories, things they post, to occasionally like their picture. And we'll do that instead of checking in with our friends, of asking them how they're feeling, how they're doing mentally. We'll consume the things they post every day, but we won't even do the bare minimum. And this honestly happens with some of my closest friends. It can feel like we're in a bit of a waiting game sometimes, where we haven't seen each other in ages, where nothing has gone wrong with our relationship as far as I'm aware, but we're both just waiting for the other person to text first. And more often than not, no one does. But when we do choose to communicate, it has to be on our terms. Nowadays, people only want to reply when it's convenient for them, even if that means leaving their friend unanswered for weeks. And this is a weird thing for me to admit, because I think I'm pretty good socially. I love speaking to people. There are times in the past where I've chatted to strangers for hours just because I'm so fascinated by what they have to say. I truly believe conversation is one of the best parts of life. But sometimes when it comes to my friends, it's like we don't exist to each other. And I don't want my friends to become strangers again, just like when I moved away. So I'm going to take this opportunity to call myself out. First of all, I will complain about being lonely, then I'll leave my friends' messages unanswered for a month. There are people from my past, from school, from wherever else, whose pictures I will like on Instagram, and then I'll see them in real life. I'll cross paths with them on the street, and I'll act like I don't know them. I'll pretend not to see them. When I go around a friend's house, I will literally pull out my phone and text him that I have arrived, instead of just knocking on the door. On Snapchat, I will half swipe my friends' messages to see what they've said before I open it, instead of just opening the message. Surely if I have the time to go on the app, I have the time to reply to my friends. And then lastly, I will tell people how much they mean to me, how much I want to see them. And then I'll never set a date to go and do that. So bro, just as some parting words, if you have a friend who you haven't seen in a while, for whatever reason you've been holding off on talking to them, this is your reminder to text them right now and ask them how they're really doing. Maybe see if they want to hang out. This is your reminder to make time to respond to friends when they text you. Treat them with the same respect as you would in a real conversation. And keep in mind, just because you and a friend aren't talking all the time, you don't see each other often, that doesn't mean they hate you. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be friends. Like, I used to think this all the time, but sometimes that's just how friendships work. And as long as you're there for each other when you both really need it, then that's what's important. In this world where the standard is doing the bare minimum for others, the one person who makes real effort, who checks up on all his friends, will always make a difference. Take care, man. I'll see you in the next one.